know what to say, really. 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. And either we heal as a team, we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I mean, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. Hell yeah. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. There's 6 inches in front of your face. Now, I can't make you do it. You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're gonna see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're gonna do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals. That's football, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you gonna do?
I do what it takes. Ain't worried about it. They slip. Confidential when I'm dealing with snake. I lost my dog. Diamond collar with a pick of his face. Man in Spain, circle back to the bay. Hey. Hit a lay in the hill with the grade. I say, eeny, meeny, mind it, mo. Catch an apple like a fish. Don't let him go.
What's going on, America? It's another exciting adventure. Father plus son plus football. Hi. I am the father.
And I am the son.
That's what's up. You know, I'm excited about the broadcast, but there are a lot of things going on in the world that we probably could be discussing too.
Yeah.
That you're probably not even aware of because you're still a kid, man. I mean, you're doing big dog things. You're maturing as a young man. You're not a boy. You're a young man. But did you know that 475 Koreans were arrested at work this week? Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, they were arrested. And now they are all going to be shipped back to South Korea. I mean, you probably don't understand all the ins and outs of all of that stuff, but yeah, we got it. You got to think about it. There's a lot going on in the world. And I guarantee you they're not watching the NFL and they don't know no high school sports scores. But we do. So we're going to get into that.
Yep.
And this is the Father plus Son plus Football podcast, season 3, episode 5. Dion Evans, Seth QUYN Evans. What did your auntie call you?
Chocolate brownie man.
Chocolate brownie man. That is so hilarious to me. That is like really hilarious to me. Today, our special guest, ladies and gentlemen, will be none other than Greg Morris. I'm kind of shocked that we haven't had Greg on the show. This is the 3rd season, and this is actually, I think, the first time he's been a guest on the broadcast. Yeah. I kind of find that shocking, considering how much he and I talk.
Right.
It's probably why he hasn't been on the broadcast, because like every conversation we have is like a broadcast. It like should be recorded. There's like all kind of, there's like, in the words of Oakland, there's hella value in our conversations. He's going to be our special guest today. Make sure you follow him on Facebook, follow him on IG. All right, Seth, how's your body feeling today?
Whew. My body's feeling a little sore. Nah, not a little. Really sore.
Really
even
sore?
after the ice bath. Even after the ice bath yesterday.
Yeah.
My body's still suffering a little bit. I just got a text message from somebody about one of your JV players watching the broadcast.
One of the JV players. What's up, JV players watching the broadcast? We're definitely going to be talking about you. You guys is 2-0 in this joint. 2-0. I'm just saying. In the last 4 years, I don't know if any team has gone 2-0.
Yeah.
And surely no JV team has been 2-0 while varsity has been 0-2, but we're not talking about that today.
You got some comments?
Got some comments?
Yep.
Let's go to the comments.
All right, we got
Uncle
Dysart.
We play this before our next game in the JV locker room. We can do that. We should. We play San Marin this Friday. We got a short week. Short week. Yeah, we should play that.
This past week. Yeah.
Yeah. We need to play that speech before the next game. Done. Coach Moses. He says crazy. I'm not sure what he's referring to because I don't know when he posted that. So you're gonna have to elaborate on your comment, Coach Moses Jacko the third. I'm just
somebody texted me, your little JV player. He said chocolate brownie man.
He's balling out.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have him.
Not for long. I'm telling you that right. Yeah.
I'm real concerned about my JV squad because I think by the time you guys get to league, I think a lot of them are going to get plucked.
Yeah.
Not for plucked sake. I think our staff has done such a wonderful job educating these young men in the sport of football and getting them to understand the value of varsity at a JV level. Again, we don't coach JV football. We coach JV players how to play varsity football in an educational and safe environment. We got some guys that are ready to go and service the varsity team. And I don't want to lose them because I'd love to go undefeated. I would just love to go undefeated. But I also understand that we serve for the sake of strengthening that varsity, and that's what we're doing. Coach Moses Jacko chimes back in. The jailed Koreans, crazy. Can you imagine being in a country that is considered the land of the free and the home of the brave, and you just happen to go to work? I think it was a Hyundai plant where they make the Ionic. I like that Ionic. I want one real bad, but my house doesn't have the ability to. Yeah, my bill will go high, skyrocketing high, and then plus I don't have time to be sitting at a charging station 45 minutes. I can't do that. Charging stations got to get to the point to where it's about the same amount of time to get gas. I can't be at a charging station forever. Can't do it. Having said, ICE, our immigration enforcement agency, they raided Hyundai, I believe in Texas, and arrested 400 plus South Koreans on the job. I mean, they just got up in the morning, their lunch pail, their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, whatever they eat, went to work building cars that Americans love driving. I mean, how do you replace 147 people at a single car? I don't.
No idea.
Them back. I don't know. That's a different story, but I want to at least acknowledge it. Moses Jacko, I want y'all to go undefeated. Oh, yeah, we want to go undefeated. But we also understand going undefeated comes at an expense, and that expense cannot be varsity. So we get there. All right, Seth, let's drop what the second for today broadcast is going to be.
West Coast Preps predictions, week 2 versus Salesian High School.
Ooh, we're going to find out about those predictions.
Varsity game film highlights. Weekly piano jingle challenge.
Amen. I've upgraded. I found a site that helps me learn my hip hop rap game jingles.
Okay.
Even faster.
All right. Whatever it takes.
I'm just saying. I do what it takes. I'm just saying.
Let me address something real quick.
Go ahead.
To all the JV players or team managers, whoever's watching, you guys cannot call me Chocolate Brownie Man. That's from my auntie and my auntie. Only she can say that. I'm getting text messages right now saying Chocolate Brownie Man. No. You guys can't say that. You guys can't say that at all.
Stop it, bro. You gotta hear. We gotta get your look. We gotta get your aunt on the show because the state football game did something for our family that the world needs to know about.
Mm-hmm.
The state football game changed our family.
Yeah.
And though we won the state, there was something else that was won, and it was more important than winning state. Far more valuable. All right, let's go to the next subject.
Building a high school football program. Top 3 do's and don'ts.
I cannot wait. I don't know about you. You may not find a whole lot of value in this because you're young, but our special guest today, Greg Morris, I tasked him with building me a top 3 list of the do's and the don'ts of building a high school football. He has pioneered 2 football programs at 2 different high schools. You know what I mean by pioneered?
Nope.
Meaning there are 2 high schools in the city of Oakland, California. You know Oakland.
Yeah.
Where you're raised. Well, you weren't born in Oakland. Well, you were born in Oakland. You were birthed in Oakland, but you lived in Alameda. And then we bought a house.
Yep.
Then you had to move. Yeah. But 2 high schools that never, ever had football programs. were able to field football programs because of one man. Now, there's a lot of controversy behind it. Are you saturating the sport? Or are you giving kids the opportunity to play a sport that wouldn't have the opportunity to play the sport because they happen to be at a school that didn't have anybody that knew how to run the sport until you came along? However, he's a pioneer. He's done it. Can't take it away from him. And I want to hear from somebody who had to do it. You understand? You just don't show up on a campus and a football team happens. I'm just saying. Next subject.
Private school sports, are we witnessing the death? Ooh.
I think this might be the most controversial. If you're a parent listening to the broadcast today, you do not want to miss this particular part of the conversation. Because there are some things going on in high school sports right now that you must be aware of. I think private schools are in trouble. Trouble as it relates to sports and getting the best athletes. You know, right now, private schools are able to benefit some great talent because of some of the things they have the ability to offer. But we are now at the beginning stages of the death of that influence. We'll share more with it later. And then what's next, Seth?
JV player shout outs. Yep.
As every show, we give special shout outs to the JV. You know, we had 3 touchdowns called back yesterday. 3.
Dang. 3.
One of them, Jack Kamara, he was the first one. Felt sorry. He had an 85-yard pick six. And it wasn't no simple pick six. He had to run through, pass over some folks to get 85 yards.
Good job, Jack.
When I saw that flag on the ground, I was like, ooh, whoever this penalty is on is going to have to see me on Monday.
Whee!
Points off the board.
Who was it? Let me know.
I don't remember. It was one of my linemen for sure. Yeah. And then we have
Beach State Gridiron Classic.
As always got a shout out. Coach Daniels and NIM. Recruit NE_GA. And then finally we have
Universal shout outs.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go to comments real quick.
No, Samani. No.
Rocco Bands. I will be calling you that at practice and school, brother.
No, you will not.
Highlighting that. I'm highlighting that. Moses Jackal said it was AJ. Oh, he just put him out. You just threw him under the bus. It was AJ, I believe. It wasn't a lineman. It was AJ. My corner. Black Jesus. That's who did it.
That's terrible.
Yeah. He's the one who, I think he held or did something. I at least appreciate he didn't run away. He just, he's trying to help. Held. All right, support the boy. Everything you give him, I'm forced to match him. And so, he's the purpose of father plus son plus football. Let me just, every once in a while, I have to reiterate. The purpose of this is to ensure my son is good at his communication skills. Earlier in the week, we were at an event and some young men were asked to speak. And when those young men finished talking, I looked at him and he looked at me. And without even having to say a word, we were like, they need communication classes. Because how many young men end sentences with, yeah? I mean, this is how, yeah, is like the new period to the end of the sentence. Like, they'd be talking and all that kind of stuff. And then pause, dramatic pause. Yeah. I'm like, what?
And then, yeah. Yeah, I know like that.
That's the new I run the ball fast.
Wow.
Not having it. Not having it. Somebody chimes in. Coach John Dysart. It was one of our DB holdings. Wow. Coach John Dysart. He is our defensive coordinator. Phenomenal job. I would take the credit. One day, I'm going to throw this out there.
Mm-hmm.
One day, he is going to be majorly decorated. Major decoration as a coach. And when they finally do a movie about his life, somebody got to play me. Somebody.
Me.
Somebody. I don't know who it's going to be. When he starts running his own football program and he's pulling a De La Salle at a public school and they're winning every year and they want to do a movie on Coach Dysart, the father of the twins, because they're both in the NFL and he coaches games. He coaches Monday through Saturday, and then he's flying out after the game because he's got to sit in the bleachers in some NFL stadium deciding which boy he's going to support this week. And they do a movie about him as a father and as a coach. Somebody's got to play me.
It's going to be me.
Nah, it'll be you.
I'm gonna have the beard and everything.
You already took my body.
Yep. And
you got my face. I don't want the beard anymore. I want to take it off. But your mom is like not having it.
I'm like no too. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. You gotta keep it.
Well, I tell you what, if I go out with your mother one more time and somebody thinks I'm her dad, it's coming off. Can't have that. That's what I don't like. I do like when the older black women see me, because the older black women are really more slick with their flirting. I was in Pete's the other day, and I was just sitting there watching Huddle, studying, and beautiful black older woman. Oh my God, she had to be fine when she was young, because she was fine old. She definitely ain't never seen the righteous forsaken nor seed begging bread. And she just having a smooth walk by me, didn't stop, didn't pause as she was pushing the door, going from the inside to the outside. She just looked at me and said, "Your beard is nice," and kept on walking. And all I can say was thank you as I watched her walk away. I just said she was fine.
My sister in the chat, she says, the beard stays.
God, she's the boss of all of us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love her. She better be studying, though. I got a graduation to go to it. What? Where's she going to school? Vanderbilt. I keep forgetting. Vanderbilt. All right, let's do it. We got to get into the show. We got to make it happen. Again, Father-Son Football Podcast, Season 3, Episode 5. Let's bring him to the stage. He's my brother. I can tell you how we met. And it's been an amazing ride ever since. Let's get to him. Brother Greg Morris, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm great. I can't complain about a thing. Good to be with you brothers today on this fine Sunday afternoon.
Well, let's get this out of the way right now for those who are watching. Yes, he is a member of the greatest fraternity on the planet, of which we serve together. The QUYN, the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. But having said, our relationship is bigger than that.
No question.
Brother. He's a brother. I'm like 4 flat tires on a Cadillac, rusted with, in the front yard. No suspension. Just scraping. How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm great, man. Little tough evening the other day after a tough loss, but I found solace in that our kids played hard, and you can never knock effort. So found solace in that, and it's a wonderful opening Sunday afternoon. Were you kidding me?
Yeah. It's beautiful outside too.
Right.
Beautiful outside.
Yes,
so, brother,
indeed.
let me just thank you for being on the podcast. I already know. Those of you who are listening, you are in for a treat with this brother because Greg's vernacular is both professional and street, classic and contemporary. I love the way, and I say this now because you're gonna love the way he puts sentences together. And if you are at all dual as far as the streets and high class society, you're gonna love how this brother strings sentences together.
You set my table, man. I gotta put something on the plate now.
This ain't
You
new.
set my table, man.
It's something you have to practice. It's innate. It's in you.
It ain't on me.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Let's get into this first subject. West Coast Preps predictions. What are your thoughts on predictions, Coach?
Predictions are predictions. I know that they're a part of the culture. I don't think that they are a good nor bad. I think in the end they are a good thing. But I've always had the point of departure as a culture player, and so it's periphery. It's stuff that we allow to become a bulletin board material. But I do think it's a part of the culture. It's a piece of information. But the Jimmies and the Joes still got to go get it done. The coaches are still putting together strategies, and so a part of the entirety of what is football, sort of a necessary evil, and I don't have a problem with them.
Yep. So then let's do this. Let's Seth, what were you conscious of any of the predictions this week?
No, I was not. I was focusing on one goal, and my goal is just to do my job and do it the best I can.
All right. Well, I want to West Coast Preps put them out, and I always, I respect the sports writers because there's no money being made really in prep sports. You just gotta love it. And here it is. Salesian was the opponent this week, right? And here we have the predictions. So Chris, who's one of the owners, he did here's what's powerful about Chris Jackson. Chris Jackson has yet to come to Moreau to do a feature article on the program. However, he did do a huge feature article on Salesian. He called out a lot of their players. A lot of the information we know about Salesian comes from West Coast Preps doing a feature article on their program just about 2 weeks ago. He knows Salesian beat Piedmont. He knows we lost a terrible game, didn't play well, to Hayward. Yet right out the gate, he picked Moreau to beat Salesian. And I found that fascinating. But there was only two guys of that prep organization picked Moreau Catholic. The other three went with Salesian. And, Salesian got lucky. You talking about a team scared to lose a game. They were definitely in that situation. I want to go here to the article itself because here's the write-up. The matchup of the two top small schools in the East Bay, Salesian and Moreau Catholic. This is a must-see game on Saturday afternoon. Salesian is coming off a big 41-14 win against Piedmont in their first game of the season. A team returning a lot of playmakers from last year's 10-2 team. It's a group with a lot of experience and pride playing together. Now, I want to stop right there because, Coach Greg, you and I both know that Moreau is not a team where the athletes have been playing together. We lost a lot. How do you feel in light of the outcome? How do you feel the team played, considering they're playing a team that was 10-2 last year and returned all of their starters, their star starters? Your thoughts?
I think we're witnessing the evolution of what a team is. We're watching it in real time, right? I thought we had a tremendous improvement from our first night out. We addressed some deficiencies that we played with week 1, and we took care of those. Now we got to look at our attention to detail, right? We had a couple of bad snaps on punt where we weren't able to. We never put our punt team on the field due to how the offense was moving and the untimely turnovers. We never put the punt team on the field in week 1. First time we get the punt team out there in week 2, we get 2 bad snaps, puts us in bad field position. I think we had some fatigue issues that we gonna address. None of these are excuses, obviously. We had some fatigue issues and we had some choice issues during the week. But there are a lot of small pieces, a lot of fixable things, and we did see tremendous improvement. We've got a sophomore running back who's recorded 200-yard games. We went from giving up something in the neighborhood of 8 or 9 yards a carry down to about 4 yards a carry in the run game. We held the quarterback to a 50% completion percentage, knowing he had probably the best receiver in the Bay Area. The brother Carlton Pirelli does a great job, and he provided us fits. But our boys really stood tall in the face of adversity, and we put together a hell of a performance. And I think you're correct that there's some nervousness on that end. I'd like to see them in the playoffs. I really respect the program, so I want to be clear about that. I think they were nervous and biting their nails. All of that being said, Coach Nightingale does a great job with that unit.
Yep. Seth, what are your thoughts? You're on the field, you're playing them. You had to deal with it, considering, what the prognosticators on the high school side of football and sports were saying. Well, what are your thoughts?
I mean, in the end, we wanted that game to be our revenge game because we lost. We had a terrible loss against Hayward. But I'll definitely say we needed those 2 games to wake up, This game we just played against Salesian was probably the best game, at least even underclassmen too, have played. The intensity was there. We fought to literally the very end, the last couple seconds. And I mean, we lost by 1 point. I would say we did a better job. We did a much better job.
I thought you guys did very well for yourselves. I really did. And it's definitely headed in the right direction. Coach Greg, I have to say, I thought your game plan was a great game plan. I mean, in any great game plan, there's going to be athlete error. There's going to be athlete decisions that aren't quite apropos to the game plan. That's every time. But it was clear that a game plan was put in place that was much better against Salesian than what Salesian faced the last time they played. Yeah. Salesian was not ready for that game plan, and that's why I believe, in that fourth quarter, they weren't trying to score. They weren't throwing the ball no more.
Oh, they was definitely trying to run the clock out. Yes, there were athlete errors. There were coaching errors too. So I want to make sure I own my part in this. We made some timely plays. We had and the funniest moment in the game for me in retrospect, I lost my stuff, but the team was sort of mundane. We had a goal line stand after one of the bad snaps, and our team didn't really realize the levity of the moment. And at that moment, we had taken all the air out the room, and it was getting ready to go.
Uh-oh. Did we lose?
Oh,
no.
There we go.
There we go.
So I think there was a great amount of contribution from a lot of different parts. But again, I go back to my earlier comment. It's going to be our attention to detail. Late in the game in the cover 2, got to have our safety on top. When we know that the quarterback sneak is coming, we got to have guys in the A gap right now, not later. As part of that goal line stand, it was a tremendous honor and a pleasure to send Seth and then get a 1-yard loss on the play. I know he was waiting on me to send that smoke too.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. Let's do this. So we're going to go to our next subject. Varsity game film highlights. Seth, you want to talk about it? It's your highlights. Set it up.
All right. For starters, I mean, in the end, it is definitely a team sport. But I'm also really trying to go to the next level. So far I got 2 offers, D3s, Lewis and Clark, Pacific University. In the end, you still got to get your own highlight film. You still got to put yourself out there. So no matter what you do, you still got to do your job.
All right, well,
interception.
Let's
This
get
is
it.
the 10th play of the game. I would say that was kind of a bad reroute, but still got the interception. Keep rolling.
Well, how come you didn't get to the house? Let's go back. What was you looking at to get this interception? What was you doing? What was your read?
Well, really, I was really trying to get a reroute number 2, or number 0, should I say. Carry him, and then start dropping to the flat, because I didn't want to just have him get like and in the midst of the moment, I can still read, even peek at the QB if I need to. And I see the ball. I'm so glad I just jumped up and got it, because I got it with my shoulder pad in my bicep like that. And then I just almost fell. Put my hand out.
I think it's, you can't teach putting a hand on the ground. You just that's innate. That's athleticism at its finest. When you can put your hand on the ground to keep from falling and then go sprinting, that you can't teach that. That's just got to be. That's just in you. That's God-given ability right there. Nice.
Shout out to Coach Moses Jacko. We practice that every time we're with the running backs.
All right, let's go to the next clip. Here's the next clip.
Okay.
Tell us what we're seeing here.
Interception. Got another interception. This was a little bit more of a slow read.
2 interceptions in one game.
Yep.
Nice. Caught it with your body, though.
Yeah.
All right, here's the third.
This one, take on that big dude. Alejandro delivers a good pass to me.
You took on the edge. I see the edge rusher right here. You take him, you pin him inside.
Big boy. Mm-hmm.
Now let's go to work. Let's see it. Let's see it.
This too.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And then I gotta get my little first down celebration. Gotta get the little CD Lamb. I think that's CD Lamb. Yeah, something like that.
Nice.
A little nose swipe in there.
All right, here's your next one. Highlight. It's a run. Oh, you run him over twice. How many times you gonna run over number 4? Do you at least know his name?
No, I do not.
I got to bring the coach back in here. Coach Greg, what are your thoughts on athletes playing against athletes, but they don't know the athlete's name? Is it okay just to know the number, or should they be knowing their names?
Well, I should answer that question. You should know the names.
What is your answer then?
I should know the names.
You know their names. All right. Here, what is this? What is this one?
Okay. This one, I mean, it's just a reaction. I was waiting to see I was making sure nothing bounced outside. And then, I just saw it and I went to go get it. I just got him in the legs.
Nice. Tackle for loss. That's a TFL.
Yep.
That's a TFL.
Now this one, this is cousin duo right here. I hit him first. Chris comes on the backside of him. Sandwich.
This dude is the most unlucky football player in Northern California. He got sandwiched between you and Chris Wilson. Oh my God. Oh, look at him laid out. Look at him. He's on the cross.
Don't move.
He looked like he might be Jesus.
Cross. Us doing a stretch. Now this one, I just see that linebacker. I communicate with my lineman. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go up. Let me go get him.
Oh, you blocked.
Take care of anything up front or first.
Well, nice. All right. I guess we could clap that up. That's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. We got our guest back, Coach Greg. Coach Greg, I was asking a question while we were doing the video highlights. What are your thoughts on, should athletes have so much detail that they know not just the number of the athlete they're playing, but they actually know their name?
The great coach Mike Tomlin says, nameless gray faces. Their name doesn't mean a thing to me. I want to know what number they wear, what their strengths are. I don't care about their secondary and tertiary skills. I want to know, are they going to attack us in the hook to curl? Is he going to kill my 3 technique? Like, how is my defensive end going to respond? That's it. Are those guys, have they recorded faster track times than my secondary? Like, tangible things that help us secure victory. Those are the things I'm concerned about.
Nice. I didn't expect that to be your angle. I did not expect that to be your angle. Coach Jack.
I know some kids' names, but I want to know the skill and what's relevant to the field. I do know, from being a former collegiate athlete, I do know that people get very familiar with those programs. They learn your mother and father's name. They say some pretty intimate things in hopes that they get you riled up and out of the game. And so that becomes a game within the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I know, a lot of times when kids get personal fouls, or you see a kid out of character and he strikes another athlete, sometimes it's due to something personal that another kid said that was not learned in film, was not learned on the football field, is that they were devouring your social media and then said something derogatory to you. And then you respond out of that, but you did it on the football field in your pads, and now you got to suffer consequences.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want that type of problems. All right, let's do it. All right. Weekly piano jingle.
All right, let me hear it.
You got to explain to Coach Greg what this is about while I go over there. Let me go over there, but explain to Coach Greg Morris what's happening.
All right, so he's got a little piano in that corner of the room right there. He has to play some notes on the piano, and we have to either know the song or guess a song.
All right.
I usually just do recommendations. I usually just give him songs, but this week he said he has something for us, so we'll see.
I hope I can remember it. So this is the first one. You know this one, Greg. Let me do it again.
This dance. Little Mac Dre for you.
Yes,
Okay. I'm from the greater Bay Area. I understand some things.
You like that?
Love it.
All right. Watch. All right, let's do this one. Oh, wait. Wait. I forgot it.
Come on, man. Preparation.
Wait.
Well, peas.
Wait. Oh, here it is. Here, I think I got it. Wait. Oh, here you go. Wait. You get it?
User error.
Wait, I think I got it. Hold on. Here you go. One more time.
I hear it a little bit.
You don't know that? Kendrick Lamar.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back with user error on that one. Go ahead, Kendrick.
I forgot the other one. I had another one. I said, well, I got in the lick for Be Humble, but I did learn a song by Dre, but I can't remember it right now. I got to get better. Coach Moses Jackson said, Mac Dre.
Yeah.
I'm talking about. I remember Oakland was sick when he got murdered in Kansas City?
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move it on. I am very interested, Coach, in this next subject. This is where the part of the broadcast where things start to get real heavy. Building a high school football program. Top 3 do's, top 3 don'ts. I've tasked you, gave you a homework assignment.
You did.
Because a lot of coaches, allow me to say this, because you can't say it on your behalf, but you got to allow me to say it. If you want to know the truth about somebody's ability to coach, you'll never know what kind of coach they truly are until you can see them build a program from scratch. Meaning, some coaches can only coach talented players. And often, those talented players they coach, they had nothing to do with building the talent that athlete has. They are coaches who have inherited players. Then there are coaches who can take kids who have never, ever played the sport and can coach them and process them to the point that they're great, good, serviceable players, which I think is harder to do. Anybody can coach an all-star team because an all-star team is filled with kids who have been trained by others. But can you put together a team of misfits, a team of kids who have never played the sport, don't even really understand the language of the dimensions of the field? Can you get a team of kids like that and be successful? Now, cool. I happen to be alongside you for some of those rides.
Right.
So I know you've done that. You have built 2 high school programs in Oakland public schools for schools whose attendance grew because they now had a football program. Can't nobody take it away from you.
True story.
You at 2 different high schools built 2 different football programs that created a better discipline overall on the campus because football was there, and the way in which you held accountable your players changed the culture of those campuses.
True story.
Having said, what are your top 3 do's and don'ts of building a football program?
The top 3 do's. The first do is you have to be authentic. Kids are smarter than they get credit for, and they'll see right through you when you fake as a $3 bill. You've got to be authentic to your own personality. Number 2, you have got to secure support. And I think that's a twofold issue, right? I've got to secure pedagogical support and hire the right people. Because now as a head coach, I got to coach my kids a lot less. I'm now a liaison. I'm the sort of the, the HCIC, if you will, dealing with other issues, taken away from what brought me to coach in the first place, right? And you've also got to secure financial support, whether that's from your institution or your parents or a booster club or some combination of the 3. Let's face it, football is a very specialized sport. There are a lot of moving parts to ensure a game gets done. So make sure you secure support. You can't do it by yourself. And the third do is draft a year-round approach. The game of football is very trying on the body. And if you're not involved in weight room activity in the off season, it is a fruitless endeavor to try to finish the season. We have 2 players on the roster at Monroe Catholic right now where I coach who are data to that end. So again, draft the year-round approach. And that's going to lead us right into the first don't. Don't keep kids from playing other sports. Don't be that sucker of a coach where your kid can't play. These are high school kids. And the majority of the kids that make it to the highest level were multi-sport athletes in high school. So it's important that we share our athletes and let these kids play other sports. Now, if anything, you do want to hold the other coaches accountable to some sort of standard so that when they're in their stead and working with the other coaches, they're doing at an analogously high level for another sport that they enjoy. So again, don't play competition with your kids. Allow them to play other sports. Um, do not fail to see the forest for the trees. Every coach in America wants every player to put the team first, put the team first, put the team first. Well, if you have an ounce of integrity as a coach, you're going to make sure to put your student athletes' agendas first. I'm not talking about what they little adolescent self think is their agenda. No, 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 no. Their future agenda. So if I'm asking an athlete to put the team first, I'm not worth my weight in fecal matter if I'm not putting that athlete's future as my priority, as the shepherd of these sheep. So ensure if you're having kids make the team be first, you don't fail to put their future first. And the last thing I'll say, the last don't fail to evolve with science. There's a lot of old, really good coaches. No bull crap. And as black men, we kind of have a hierarchy and a humility for those that whose shoulders we stand on. That being said, as I age in this game, because I remember being the young cool coach that the old coach would hire as sort of the liaison because the kids would listen to me. Now I'm swiftly becoming the old coach right before everyone's eyes. I am the old coach. But my way, the way I did it, doesn't make it the right way. I need to implement new data, and there's a sifting process here, right? Because some stuff that comes through is candy. It tastes good. It's fly by night. You know what I mean? And some stuff, the game is evolving, science is evolving with regard to training, with regard to offensive play calling, defensive play calling, right? So we've got to evolve with what the cutting edge of the science says. And I think oftentimes at a lot of high school programs, we fail in that. So if you wanted me to recap your dues, be authentic, secure support, draft a year-round approach. Your three don'ts. Don't have your athletes competing with your program in basketball. Let that boy dribble a basketball if he's got the talent and the want to. Don't fail to put your student athletes' agendas first. And don't fail to evolve with science. That would be the top three do's and don'ts, far as I see it.
I love it. I love it. I want you to elaborate on one though.
Talk to me and I'll talk back.
I don't see in high school sports in particular. I don't see, and Seth, help me out here because you're on the campus. You rub shoulders with other sport players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see too many football coaches keeping kids from doing other sports. But I do see baseball hoarding. I do see basketball at times hoarding. And I wonder, does it concern you that a 5'9" kid is interested in playing basketball so bad when we all know he is not going even to a junior college? But he's a dynamite football player. I just don't understand how some kids, or I don't understand how some coaches would stop a kid from playing any sport. I mean, remember, when is the last time you heard of a 4-sport athlete, Coach Greg?
Long time ago, because they got rules, number one. But number two, I think it's a rare kid who can give an honest commitment to baseball and track and field. That's a rare kid who can manage that and be an asset to both. So you rarely see a 4-sport athlete. I actually at the nameless school whom I'm currently the head track and field coach for, we've set 6 school records in 2 years. But at said school, we actually had coaches from other sports keeping kids from track and field. And in spite of that, we were still able to participate in postseason activities and still set school records. And it's really ironic because when you see programs that do hoard those athletes, they tend not to be successful. Their athletes aren't as mature. Their athletes don't know how to be teammates. They don't develop other muscle groups. We always talk about the best ability is availability, right? So when I play other sports, I'm developing other muscle groups. So when I come back to football, I'm far less likely to be injured. So a lot of contributing factors to that. Yeah, I want kids to look. Age is father time is coming, and he's not bull crapping. And so some people say the youth is wasted on the young. Get as much out of that young body as you can. Don't have no regrets when you can. Don't have no regrets when you're at the age where you can injure yourself waking up from a nap or tying a shoe.
Right. Or just, yeah, you're right. And I just got injured about 2 weeks ago from taking a nap.
And I got you beat. I got injured sitting in the getting a pedicure. I injured my back sitting in the chair. I had I had it up too intense. Felt great. I got the knot out. Then I went to stand up with the pedicure was done, and I'm standing crooked because I had it on too intense.
You know about one of those massage chairs.
Yes.
You got injured in a massage
chair. I beat you waking up from a nap. That'll hold you.
Seth, I want to talk to you about this real quick because I remember in middle school, you came to me, you was like, Dad, I want to play basketball. And I was like, no.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
You're lying and your breath stank.
You're acting. Don't throw me under the bus.
No, Seth's lying.
Coach Greg, let me let you try. So football season is over. He had a wonderful football season, right?
Right.
The Berkeley Junior Bears, right?
Right.
But at the same token, he is preparing to be at the time, he wants to be a national champion in weightlifting. Eventually, he would become the national champion. He comes to me between football and weightlifting, wanting to play basketball. So I took him to the basketball court, rolled a basketball out there, and told him, okay, go out there and play with those kids. And he was double dribbling. He was traveling. He was doing a bunch of stuff that basketball play. I said, so here's what I said, son, we not going to waste time playing a sport that you're not going to, I mean, if you want to play, okay, but we're not going to waste precious training for the sports we believe we're going to be great at for just having fun with our friends on a basketball team that out of 15 kids off the bench, you might be the 12th kid playing.
Man. Fantastic parenting in that moment, because I know that given Seth's character, had he really loved basketball, at that moment, you would have pushed him in to being in the front, dribbling with the right, dribbling with the left, dribbling two balls, at which point the athlete he is, you might be going to basketball games in the winter after football. But that's a testament to the kid Seth is, also you parenting. If Seth loved basketball, he would have been dribbling every day at school to spite what you said to prove you wrong. But we got a pretty successful young man, All-American in one sport. I believe was very unceremoniously an all conference honorable mention last year as a junior when you couldn't build a case to have 11 football players in our conference better than him. So I was really frustrated about that in terms of the productivity relative to the recognition for said productivity.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes this year because we're going for all of it this year.
Yep, we certainly are.
We're going for all of it. All right, let's go to this next subject. This next subject is a subject I know a lot of parents are wanting to hear. Private school sports. Are we witnessing the death? Now, let me say this before we get started with this conversation. I have not allowed Coach Greg Morris, our special guest today, Pioneer coach, defensive specialist. You do know to be a defensive specialist, you got to know a lot about offense. A lot of teams.
Yes, sir.
You're not good on one side of the ball because you're absent-minded of the other. Having said, I want to be very honest here. I have not given him my argument because I wanted you, the people, the parents, student athletes. I wanted you to get a raw understanding that wasn't edited and polished. So I didn't give him my argument. I'm about to give him my argument right now. And then we just gonna go back and forth on what we believe, what we see, what we know, what we understand. This is kind of like what we do all the time anyway. But now we're doing it on the podcast, Father Plus Son Plus Football, Season 3, Episode 5. Let's get into it. I believe, Coach Greg, that in the next 2 years, private high school sports is going to die. Not die in the sense that it won't exist, but die in a sense of how it gains access to elite athletes. Let me just run the argument real quick because I want to hear your commentary more than I want to talk. For you parents that are listening, what is the reason why you put your kid in a private high school? I'm talking about a high school where you're paying money for them tuition, for them to go to school. You pay tuition because the belief is the education that they're going to receive is going to unlock all the doors for them to go to a college of their choice, a 4-year college. You don't go to a prep school to go Division III. Not in sports. You go to a prep school to get the highest level of division you can get into academically, right? How many kids in CIF Oakland section, also known as the OAL, have D1 talent players? But they don't have D1 talent education. They don't get those D1 opportunities because the institution that they athletically could qualify for, they academically won't be allowed to stay. We call those athletes washouts. Sometimes the school will take the risk, bring them to a D1 program. By Thanksgiving, they can't handle the academics, so now they're washed out. By the spring, they're trying to find a JUCO to go to kind of reset because they weren't prepared academically for Division I. But let's just say you have a kid who's in the 8th grade, and we can tell that this kid is going to be a baller. This kid is on the cusp. He's on the trajectory of D1. What D1's looking for. How many high school athletes are getting D1 opportunities in light of the transfer portal and other factors? I would suggest, and I would say, and I would love somebody to try to argue me, I would say 95% of California high school students will be going to the JUCO or D3. So the question becomes, if it doesn't matter where my kid's high school education happens, why would I spend all of this money sending my kid to a private high school when his graduation diploma and his athletic play will not allow him to access Division I opportunity? Now, if that kid wants a Division I academics, no problem. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about athletes, a kid who wants to play football. If he's a D1 talent in California, he's going to have to be literally almost all state. Second league, all team, not cutting it. Not cutting it. So So my thought is private school sports are going to die because that elite athlete is not going to choose private school. They're all going to start working together, coordinating to go to particular public high schools, because most of them, no matter how great they are going JUCO from high school anyway. Somebody may say, well, my kid's good enough. Okay. You're telling me Alabama is going to choose your 17-year-old boy with only high school experience over a transfer who's already done 2 years at a Division III school, who has tape, who's old enough to go out with all the athletes. There's no need to have no babysitter. Your 17-year-old boy is not going to D1. Why? Because then everybody has to be paid now on the team. Why am I paying a 17-year-old that I know I'm not playing when I got a 21 and a 22-year-old who have at least 2 years experience? And if you're in California, that 2 years of experience at a JUCO doesn't even count. Will not count towards your 4 years. So I can do 2 years in California at a JUCO and still have 4 years of eligibility at a D1 institution. If I'm going to go from high school, knowing I'm going to go into a JUCO and my grades in JUCO and my tape in JUCO are going to be what is used for me going to a four-year institution, why would I be paying money to go to a high school? And that's where I believe parents are going to decide, I'd rather keep that money. I'd rather invest it in other things, because the private school can no longer offer you education as the carrot to get your kid into a D1 school if he plays football, because he's not going D1 for football.
Plausible. I think you're either prophetic or premature. One of the two. You're either
I want to hear from you.
Prophetic or premature.
My argument.
So,
I'm still refining it, but I'm looking at the tea leaves.
So watch this. Last week at the Grant Folsom game, I want to say they had between the two teams, there were 20-some kids who already had Division I offers. Now, those are public schools, so that's kind of anecdotal in terms of its evidence. I don't know what the numbers are on a St. Thomas Aquinas versus a Bishop Gorman, or a Mater Dei against a St. John Bosco. I don't know what those numbers are. But I also do know this. It's plausible, but there are other factors. The Keystone Cop operation that gets run in some inner city public school districts allows for way less funding and a less pleasurable experience for the athlete, less academic support, less transportation. Sometimes we got to scrape and scrounge stuff together when the district may have the money, but they're not going to allow us to use it. The other thing is, there are other factors, and you're correct, but I think a lot of families feel like my son might be safer here. My son is in a class that's academically competitive, and they're not sitting next to students who are apathetic about the democratic process, or about the educational process, excuse me. So I think that it's plausible as we sit here and look at it. But if we go back, it was sort of people getting over their own racisms back in maybe the 60s, 70s, early 80s that had them going and getting these superior athletes who were historically at public schools and went on to HBCUs, right? It took a minute for these private high schools to say, hey, we want to go get this young man. We're willing to look past some of what's going on around him. We find that this is a good character individual, or we're willing to, use him and let him use us in a mutually beneficial relationship. So what we knew that at one time the public schools were superior to the private schools. We know that the last collegiate national champion that was all white was 1967 Alabama, and they're much ballyhooed and celebrated. But we know they didn't want to put Grambling on their schedule. We know they didn't want to put Florida A&M or Morgan State or Southern on their schedule. They didn't want Bethune-Cookman. They didn't want Virginia Union. All of these HBCUs were producing NFL talent, but were not allowed to play in the SEC. So it's just sort of a tangential argument to how we got to where we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
People had to get over their own isms and come recruit these superior athletes at these schools. So this has occurred. And now we're in a situation where JUCO is free. And many of these kids who are going to these private schools do have some sort of subsidization requisite with their skill. So, they might not be paying full tuition. So I think it's plausible what you say. That could happen based upon the landscape and what we're looking at right now. But I think there are too many other mitigating factors like Division II schools will offer you a scholarship, and many of them are selling themselves as competition to JUCOs. So now if you earn an athletic scholarship to a smaller school, you're still competing to get out of there and get in the portal. So I think, in my opinion, I don't think it's the end of it. I think this thing is going to morph and change shape. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I do not think private school football will take a big hit.
I think it will. And I think the only way I think it doesn't is private school sports are going to have to gobble up each other. And they're going to have to completely, and I don't know how this would happen in a private school, especially like private Catholic schools that are known for having great sports programs. You're going to have to, in order to get elite athletes, you're going to have to tuition them 100%. The idea of giving them financial tax credit, financial aid tax credit, or you're going to have to get rid of all the fees.
Right.
Again, why would I spend money sending my kid to a private school that, from an athletic perspective, has zero value in where they're going to play college football? And when we talk about the education, when it comes to going Division I, whether you are at Castle, Lyman's versus Moreau, O'Dowd, or De La Salle, your education is going to have no value in your athletic focus.
I still think it has value.
You talked about some of these schools like Mater Dei and John Bosco and, with the offers. But then my question is, offers for what? I believe what's happening right now, our colleges are offering kids, not because that is an acquiring offer. It's not a real offer. I believe a lot of these colleges, and it's not really the colleges, these coaches and recruiters, they're offering kids so that they can get more likes and follows on their own social media platforms. Because we see some of these athletes that are getting offers. When a school offers an 8th grader, Sac State during the spring offered an 8th grader. Really? Is that 8th grader high school ready? You're telling me that 8th grader, you're offering that 8th grader can come on your campus and be a benefit? I don't see it. Well, we're doing it based upon trajectory. Oh, okay. But you're going to bypass all current seniors. You're going to bypass all varsity athletes currently playing in California to offer an 8th grader?
Well, we
who's
know
never been hit by somebody 2 years older than him in a football game.
It's not really an offer. It's what you said. It's a verbal offer, so it can be put on social media so that maybe this kid will remember we were the first school that offered him. Like, there's no paperwork with it. You know what I mean? It didn't. That kid's not locked in.
That conversation, because an offer isn't. You know how I really started understanding offers as Seth is going through the process. The coaches made verbal offers to him and our family, but it was backed up with letters and paperwork. It was backed up with connecting him with school admissions and counselors to help him through the process to get him prepared to accept whatever they're willing to provide him. And so when I look at that from private schools, I'm like, private schools, the first private school to say, you know what, if we want this athlete, we're going to have to completely scholarship him. But you know how that's going to work. Now, remember all those isms you were talking about.
Somebody going to be crying.
Oh, yeah. Because here my kid is a wonderful flute player, and we got to pay half tuition, and you got this other kid who's a football player, and my kid's been a flute player and been going to private Catholic schools their whole life, and then you're going to give a free education to a football player who's been in Oakland public schools or Hayward public schools. All this
ain't nobody buying no flute T-shirts and flute hats. We ain't getting 2,000 people to come see your child play the flute. We had 2,000 people spend $10 and then go to the snack bar. We made $8,000 last night. That is what he did.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Seth, jump in this.
Oh, I would say there is definitely a little bit of a decrease. I think in my entire time of being at Monroe Catholic, I think I've only known maybe one or two people who have actually gone to a D1 school. One of them is going to, and one is there, but he's not starting right now, you know?
It's not even on
You said what?
It's not even on a depth. See, here's the other thing. I'm not saying that a kid in high school can't walk on, but is that you don't go to a private high school to then walk on at a D1 school? Mm-mm. Would you agree, Coach Greg? That's not the goal. If you're gonna
100%.
If you're saying I'll just walk on, you don't go to a private school and spend all that kind of money to do that.
100%. 100%.
You don't do that. You just go to McClymonds or you go to Oakland Tech. Or you lobby 6 of your friends and you go to Fremont High. But you don't your parents don't spend thousands of dollars every year on top of athletic taxation. You don't do that.
Right. Agreed.
So then say, I'm going to walk on. Because watch this. Colleges are very arrogant. What coach is going to really give an opportunity to a walk-on when they gave all of this money to 3 to 4 people in front of that walk-on?
They're not. Which is why those moments are so emotional when you see those former walk-ons who earn money, because you know what they went through. You know they were at the bottom rung. You know that the coach was probably making disrespectful jokes of him to curry favor with better players. Mm-hmm. And that kid had to endure that and continue to make plays, because the coach is not going to make an example of the starting cornerback. He's not going to make an example of the starting running back, but the walk-on, he can crack those funny, disrespectful jokes. The running back room, the O-line room laughs. We're probably going to lose him, and that kid sticks around like a hubcap in a fast lane and sticks around and makes plays and sticks around, and now you got to give him his money.
Yep. But that again, that you don't spend 4 years of tuition for that hope and a prayer of an existence, right? Well, I think you've helped me flush it out a little bit more. There's more to this conversation, but I think I've now kicked this can a little further down the road. Ooh, watch. I think in 2 years. What I'm saying right now, I think in about 2 years. All right, let's switch reels. JV players, shout outs. You guys get to see the JV game this weekend?
Surely did.
JV team is now 2-0. There was a wonderful AI write-up in Max Preps. Did you get to check that out, Coach Greg?
I saw, yes, I did see. Excellent job by you guys. I did see that. I sure did.
Yeah. So we gave up 7 points last week, gave up 6 points this week, and we got our toughest game coming up this Friday against San Marin.
No question.
Did you know that San Marin's JV is 0-2?
Oh, I did not know that.
They're coming in 0-2. We're coming in 2-0. Now, there's an argument as to have they played higher competition in their first 2 games?
St. Ignatius and Foothill.
Yeah.
2 pretty good programs. St. Ignatius is probably
well, their varsity programs are pretty good programs, but I don't know
program. I don't know about the team. I don't know about the talent. I'm speaking about the program as it were. So yeah, we have no clue about the young talent that might be in there.
Yeah. But let's give some shout outs. I gotta start out my shout outs with my quarterback. Kamani Brown.
Hey man, that
too.
boy spin that thing.
Did you see those 2 touchdown passes he threw?
I did.
I saw one to Nasir.
I mean, he's making the right reads, and he didn't throw not one interception. I'm just saying.
Because Moses in the chat.
That Foothill, what's that he says? That's Foothill up north past Sacramento. Oh, that's not the local Foothill. I don't know. All I know is for a shootout, if we have to have a shootout, I think we're going to be fine. But let us go 3-0. Uh-oh. Let us go 3-0. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. It's possible. Seth, who are some of the JV athletes you like to shout out? I talk Kamani Brown, my quarterback. I got to give him a shout out. Tyrese Mack.
Oh, absolutely.
You know who Tyrese Mack reminds me of when I watch him run? You. He has the ability to shake you, but he enjoys running you smooth over. He's a brute. He brutally runs through the defender. I like that.
He was laying the hat. He was responsible for a lot of loud clacks.
Yeah. He was making sure the pads worked.
Yeah.
We went to, because Salesian had those porta potties, terrible porta potties up there. We were walking there, we were watching, and we see Tyrese get the ball, looks like a Seahawk. He just dribbles a dude and runs onto the sideline. We're like, oh my God.
Yeah, he's real deal.
Yeah. Hey, quick little point to Moses. Mo, you're correct. Corey didn't score. I'm going to do a unorthodox shout out. I've seen that boy touch the ball 4 times. And all 4 times he gets in the end zone. It's not his fault he didn't score. He took the ball away from a young man, broke a tackle, and took it into the end zone. Wasn't his fault there was holding on the other side of the field. And I'm going to give, if I can jump in here one more time.
Go ahead.
My main man, Kojak, Telly Savalas, Jack, should have had that 85-yarder. I love the way you guys are playing right now. I absolutely love the way you calling it.
Jack is trying to get your attention, coach.
He's got it. And you'd have had 2 shutouts if you were a selfish coach and played your ones the entire 40 minutes, but you're preparing for a future. So in doing that, you probably sacrificed 2 goose eggs, 2 shutouts in the first 2 games.
Well,
but we're paying dividends moving forward, though, right?
Allow me to share.
Talk to me and I'll talk back.
We could have preserved the goose egg in the 4th quarter.
Yep.
Well, last week, Hayward scored in late 4th quarter, and yesterday, Salesian scored late in the 4th quarter. Now, I appreciate my DC, John Dysart.
Cold player. Co-coach. Love it.
Coach John Dysart.
Yep.
Because you're right. The decision I made was we got to get every kid in the game. And on offense and defense, on offense, we have 4 levels of offense. We got a depth chart up to 4. On defense, we have a depth chart up to 3. Every single kid on our roster played yesterday. Not 1 play, at least 3 to 4 plays. We got film on. So they know what it really is to play. Right?
Yep.
And for me, that's going to be valuable when we get to league.
Agreed.
But here's my main reason, Coach Greg. and you're the varsity coach, the reason why I'm ensuring every kid in our program is playing is because the kids that I'm counting on right now, your Jack Camaras, even to a certain degree, Tyrese Mack, my quarterback, Kamani, my running back / free safety, Samani Roberson. It is very well possible that by time we get to league play, varsity is going to snatch them. And I don't want to lose because we lost players that we did our job preparing to compete at the varsity level to help varsity win. So I got to get the backups, and I got to get the backups back up. Corey Hall Jr., I shouldn't say this, but I think it's worthy of saying that the young man deserves it. Corey Hall Jr., you would not be able to keep him off the varsity football field as on the offense or the defense or on special teams. You would not. Salesian totally prepared for him, and we knew that they would totally prepare for him. But we got too many weapons. When you got Jack Kamara doing what he does, when you got Corey Hall Jr. on the other side, then I got Samani and I got Tyrese. Then I got Brandon Mack, who's backed up by Josiah Knight. Got a lot of weapons, and I got a quarterback who knows how to now read defenses.
Yep, you sure do.
And yet all these names I just spoke, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I might start losing them. And for me, that means my number 3,
becomes your number 2. Yep, they become 2 and 3. Yep, no question. No question.
And that's how we're building it. That's how we're building it.
That's what's up. Well, I already got my I'm gonna give my request to the skipper later this afternoon for some of your defensive backs. So just know the pluckage is gonna be attempted sooner than you think.
I already know.
Yeah. This week. This week. Absolutely.
You know how I know?
Huh?
Because you're a varsity coach. Your call time to the game yesterday was what? What's the call time yesterday?
9:45.
What time did the varsity get there on the bus? You guys got there like about
varsity might have got there 11:30, 11:45.
11:30? Yeah. And you were there. Kickoff for us was 10 o'clock. You were there at 9:30.
It matters.
I said, nah, man, he's here scouting the JV because he wants to see is any ball players we have so he can make an honest assessment, and he's thinking about who he's playing up. And so then when they start making plays and I see you on the sideline out of the corner of my eye, jumping up and down and fist bumping, I'm like, yeah, we're not going to have this kid like too much.
Hey, but I stayed out your way. I had to laugh at Coach Trent. A little bit later on, I said, Coach Trent, you've been baptized. You finally got yelled at by Coach Dion. Don't worry about it. He's yelled at everyone, and you are now officially a part of the family. And I know to stay out the way when they doing their thing, and he doesn't get in your way when you doing your thing, and he expects you to be out his way when he's doing his.
Yeah. But to his credit, I did walk back to him and apologize. I thought the way that I said it was a little too harsh. I didn't mean to say it. I didn't mean for it to sound like that.
I got you. It's good.
But I really like that coach. I really, really like that coach.
Hey, let's just think about this. We got cut up last year with far superior talent by this receiving core and a senior quarterback. We've got less talent at the cornerback spot, at the safety spot. And he went 13 for 26, and barring 2 or 3 big plays, we did a fantastic job with less talent this year. Credit Trent Trammell and getting those cornerbacks ready.
Oh, I agree. Rocco Bands, he says, don't forget about Big Miracle, coach. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rocco Bands in the building.
We give Miracle. I feel kind of sorry for him. Miracle is a guy.
He has great expectation, don't he?
But I told him, I had to pull him aside. I'm like, Miracle, there's a lot of things we could be jumping up and down about you. And we not. The only goal for you is varsity level. You must think, your technique, everything that you do must be at varsity level. We know we only gonna have you 1 year. We already know that. And there could be an argument, I don't want it to happen, that if you guys needed to take and put him on the defense, I tell you what, a lot of them quarterback sneaks that happen on, maybe I shouldn't say that.
Hey, no, Seth improved tremendously.
No. I'm not saying
So,
I'm not saying he's better than anybody currently on varsity playing.
right, but he could help.
Product. Seth Feely's one of my products too.
I know these things.
All I'm saying is some of those quarterback sneaks wouldn't have happened.
Very probable.
If you had Miracle
in that A gap
in the rotation.
Yep.
I'm just being honest with you. So yeah. But Samani ran really good.
Hold on, I got a question. All right. He told me to ask you this too. He said, ask Coach Dion why Samani was down on the field.
Was what?
Was down on the field.
He cramped. He got a cramp. Look.
Poor diet, not hydrating.
Samani, my running back, and Kwamani, my quarterback, both of them within one series of each other at the end of the game, cramped. And we had to stop play, come on the field to get them. And my question is always the same. How many bananas did you eat this week? Coach, I didn't eat no banana. Well, one banana could have solved all this. One banana on Wednesday would have solved this for Saturday. You got no potassium. You done lost that much salt in the game that your body is now reacting against you. Come on.
And it wasn't even a hot day.
No, it wasn't. Now, it was kind of weirdly humid, but it wasn't a hot day. It wasn't.
Yeah.
But man, I love those kids. Those kids are doing a phenomenal job. And what they're doing on both sides of the ball is unique. And though I don't like the idea of them leaving my team and having to go up to varsity, I do believe it is a flex for our coaching staff.
No question.
Athletes ready.
No question.
And when they go up, they can be playing immediately. That's the goal, because they're not coming up unless there's a game plan to play them.
Correct.
And so, being that that's the game plan, when you have multiple athletes that may be coming up before the postseason, then you got to take hats off to John Dysart, LaRon Mitchell, Gerald Morrison, and the alumni Jesse Castro. You got to take your hats off to them gentlemen, because that means they are really, really, really doing their job and getting these athletes ready for the next level. And I love coaching with them dudes.
And they are, because last year when you sent them up, they played. And so we know this in real time. It's not a hypothetical. You gentlemen are doing a hell of a job.
Let's get into the Peach State Gridiron Classic. Guess who got this show roster spot this week?
I didn't even get to do my shout-outs yet.
Oh, you didn't do your shout-outs? I'm sorry.
No.
All right,
shout-outs, brother.
Your shout-outs. I'm sorry.
Come on now. First off, you always got to shout out the guest, Uncle Greg. Definitely got to shout out you. But as far as JV, shout out the team managers. I would definitely say practice has definitely been going more smoothly with them.
Man.
Definitely shout out to them.
Our team managers, them young women are dope. They are, man, they make practice so much. Oh my God.
Yeah, I hate going to the shed getting the bags.
No, they handle all that. Well, JV's been kind of bailing y'all varsity players out. Y'all.
Thank you. But yeah, Tyrese Mack, Miracle, Corey, really, Samani, Jack, especially K2, Kamani Brown. Man, you guys got some dogs, man.
You know who else I got to shout out? And Greg will like this. Amari Holbrook.
Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
I knew it.
Hollywood.
That young brother. Now Amari spends half practice trying to get me to believe or admit that he's fast. Coach, I'm fast. Stop it. But that young man, he can play inside on defense. He can play outside on the edge, and he had some pretty good. Now he cost us 2 touchdowns. I told him I was going to get on him.
ooh,
He cost us 2 touchdowns.
see on my bad.
But you eliminate that. He's one of the reasons why we were so dominant against Salesian High School. You gotta understand something. In 4 years, that is the first time junior varsity has beat Salesian.
Wow, good stuff. And I'm gonna throw in just a little shout out to his big brother who struggled last week, and this week, although he was responsible for 2 bad snaps, he played a hell of a game at the linebacker position. He was very integral in terms of keeping these guys to 4 yards of carry. He had a great tackle on the punt team. He sniffed out several screens and brought them down for no gain. He was throwing his body around. He looked like a linebacker. And just coming off a prior week where he struggled, I just really want to tip my cap to his big brother.
His big brother, Marcus Holbrooks. Bad Marcus boy. Holbrooks Jr. You know, it's funny you say that because the first screen, I was like, ooh, good play. And I was like, who's 30? I thought it was Dom because I'm used to Dom Sardillo wearing number 33. And it was like, no, that's Marcus. I was like, oh, that's a good play by Marcus because I know last week he did struggle. But when he did it the second time, I said, this boy must have watched film.
Yeah, he prepared.
I don't know what keys he was reading, but he had his keys in place, and he did not hesitate, and none of them screens worked.
I went into the game, and I told the linebackers, we're going to rotate. And I said, at any point in time, you have the power to stop this rotation. And Marcus and Chris stopped the rotation.
Yes, sir. Did you see that hit that Seth and Chris put on number 14 and laid him out like?
Oh, Lord, my God. I was so excited by that. Gave me chills, gave me tingles. I was excited for that hit. You say they put him on the cross? You so out of pocket, Coach D.
I mean, out of pocket. Like, he's one of the thieves. So yeah, that's how he was. You telling me that's not what you saw?
It was why we as young people wanted to play football. We wanted to be a part of collisions like that. It was beautiful, is what it was. And I was glad that young man got up and walked away. It was okay.
We don't.
But it was a beautiful football play. But
he looked like one of the thieves on the cross. I don't know if it was the right or the left one, but he was. Yeah, that was. You couldn't get hit by 2 worse players. You do not want to get hit by Seth Evans and Chris
Wilson.
You guys owe that young man lunch. That's just
you don't owe him nothing, Seth. He shouldn't have put that uniform on that morning. You understand me?
All right, P-State Classic. There's going to be a draft sometime in November, so I got to get with my coaching staff and make sure. But I've been getting all those of you who are part of Peach State Gridiron Classic All-Star Game in Georgia. I've been getting all of your film. I've been looking at your film. Those of you who played on Team Dream last year, looking to have you back this year.
Yeah,
back this year. And those of you who are new, I love what I'm seeing, but I gotta ride with the guys I had last year first. and then we're going to add you guys. And as I am as a coach, everybody will play and everybody will have valuable minutes. There are no garbage time. There is no garbage time in an all-star game. So we'll go from there. But I really like what Coach Daniel is doing. Hey, Recruit GA shout out a national article on you this week, Seth. Talk about that a little bit. What was that like, seeing that this week?
That was cool. It was really unexpected because I know I had tagged him in some of my posts and highlights. But it was good seeing my name getting a lot more exposure. I got maybe like 12 to 15 followers, maybe like 50 plus likes. That's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Pretty cool.
That's nice. All right, let's get to our shout outs. Coach Greg, you get to go first.
I guess I already shouted out Marcus Holbrook. I want to shout out my whole linebacking core. They really put it down. I want to shout out Trent Trammell, who came anew and did a heck of a job with us. I want to shout out Steve Moore, who I'm working really close with to make sure that we can stop the run. And his rotation with the D-line had us successful for most of the day yesterday. Want to shout out Chris Wilson, who's coming around. Want to shout out my backup linebacker, Caden Tiger Hood. He's amazing. He's playing at a really high level, and it's tough because he's got other kids playing at a high level right now. But I want to give all them kids shout out. Shout out to AJ. Don't get punked by your emotions. Punk your emotions. You do a hell of a job. We empathize with your emotion, but don't do that. Shout out to the whole JV coaching staff who's making these guys prepared for what we doing at this level. You know what I mean? And shout out to all the parents who allow us to be a part of the village that's raising the young men.
That's what's up, Coach. I just thoroughly appreciate you being on the broadcast today. Like I said, I'm shocked that we haven't had you on before, but it's because every time you and I talk, it's a
broadcast.
Like you could just film us. You're gonna get a lot of information.
Right. We finna argue. We gonna agree sometimes.
Arguing
don't matter.
The best.
Yeah.
There was no real contentious arguing today. But
no.
Yeah, maybe we'll find a sports subject that we can kind of go.
We gonna find one. We gonna find one.
As soon as the next one, we're gonna be like, all right, pause this. We gonna do this on Sunday.
Yeah, get the camera set, get the camera, film this.
You better bring it on Sunday. All right, Seth, your shout outs, final comments.
Hey, I want to shout out the whole, especially JV team. Shout out all you guys, man. You guys doing your thing out there. But definitely shout out varsity. You know, we're 0-2. We didn't get the wins, but we definitely had some growth this past week. And I'm proud of y'all for that.
All right, that's what's up. Good to be a teammate, man. Good to be a teammate and continue encouraging your teammates in a fashion that will that'll benefit them as adult men. You want them to have memories of you and your speeches that will they'll remember that when they're grown. They'll say that stuff to their kids. Coach Greg, love you, brother. Thank you
love you too, my brother.
Thank you for that, especially that engaging conversation on private school and the 3 do's and don'ts.
No question.
The son, man, I'm proud of you, boy. Trainer had to see you, but you weren't going to come off that field. 2 interceptions. I don't know all your stats yet. We'll find out. We'll post that later. The listeners, brothers, sisters, families, players, thank you for making the broadcast what it was today. All right? We'll talk to you.
No, I can't ever stop. I so ride to the night. I took chance after chance after chance. I'm on time.
How you match up, yo? Treat them just like an app in the same section. One specific black 9900 my boulevard.
Why my chicken new toe? I can never ever fall. So finna go. Ass sticky situation, but the Lord is my hope. 20 big hoes in my soul, not for soul. I was out and I go. I just stay
just like that. We saw it.
Me for sure. I do what it takes. Confidential when I'm dealing with snakes. I do what it takes. I do what it takes.